Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. Kind of an overcast, dark end of the day here. I don't like turning on the fluorescent lights in here. They tend to yellow everything up, and I don't really like it, so I've been using some other sources of the light, more natural light, to try and keep this thing brightened enough. So I hope this video is good. I think the quality is probably okay anyways. So we're here on a Monday night to do the Monday night look back at a classic rock album. I've chosen an album that I've had this album for a very long time. Not this particular CD. I had it in album form, and then I had it in original CD, and then some of my CDs got crushed about a decade ago when I was storing them while I was moving. So I did buy this album again. This one I think I got, it's almost brand new. I think I got it it was part of that yard sale that I got the Doors, all those Doors albums at a couple of years ago. But it might actually be from a couple decades ago. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Anyways, we're talking about Boston's Don't Look Back album. Yes, it's the little sister of their debut album, which had a phenomenal impact, maybe one of the greatest debuts ever. But this is still a really good album. First of all, I think the album cover, in my estimation, is really good, maybe as good as the initial one. I really like the kind of spacey view that it gives here, and I apologize because it's backwards. I still have not yet figured out how to switch this around on my MSI. The other one is not a problem. I knew exactly what to do right away, but I'm still familiarizing myself with all the billions of buttons and submenus that are on this MSI, which is a great computer. It's just difficult to find everything, and it reacts differently than the other computer does. So anyways, we're here to talk about this album, Boston. So for those of you who have never watched the show before, I just basically give you all the vital statistics on this album and then talk a bit about the music on the album. I generally only pick classic albums, and for me that's anything over 15 years of age. This thing easily qualifies, came out in 1978. So what's that? It's like 45 years ago. It still looks fantastic, you know. So it was released August the 15th, 1978. Tom Schultz, of course, studio and his hideaway studio at his place. Now, he was supposed to produce this at a real studio. That was the record companies wanted that to happen, and he told them that he did, but he actually produced it at home. And also, so that was in Maynard, Massachusetts, on his northern studio. So it's about 34 minutes in length, which is a little short for even albums from that time period, but still good. I think it's got 8 tracks on it. On Epic Records. Is this one on Epic as well? Yes, it is on Epic Records. And produced by Tom Schultz as well. So you've got on the album Brad Delp, of course, on lead vocals, harmony vocals, acoustic guitar, and piano, and tambourine too. Tom Schultz, of course, playing piano, organs, lead and rhythm guitars, acoustic guitar, 12-string guitar, guitar effects, bass, and hands and cans, whatever that means. We got Barry Goodrow on slide guitar, lead guitar, and percussion. You've got Fran Chesson. I can't say that word. Anyways, he's the bass player and also plays percussion. And then you have Sib Hashin, him of the fantastic afro, playing drums and percussion. One of the great afros of rock. So this album has, as I said, 8 tracks on it. It's a classic for a reason. The title track, Don't Look Back, is one of the great Boston tracks, I think. Easily could have stood up well on the debut album as well. The Journey, really good track. It's a little bit short, but not too bad. It's Easy. I like that one. A Man I'll Never Be. That one is one of my favorites on this album as well. Feeling Satisfied, really solid track as well. Party. It's a party. Yeah, really good. Used to Bad News, and Don't Be Afraid, which is the final track on this album. So this album, it's not a long album, but it definitely has all the classic Boston sounds to it. The guitar riffing, the vocal sounds, all of the kind of epic, kind of smooth sounding production-wise album, just like its big brother. I like the album. I haven't listened to it that much over the last few years because I got so much to listen to, of course. But at one time, I used to put it on fairly regularly. I think it's pretty solid. It's got a lot of energy, too. It's not much different from the debut album, just didn't have all the massive hits that the debut album had. But if you are looking to continue your Boston journey, I suggest you go to number 2. With the Boston, it tends to go that way. It's kind of a slow downhill process. Each album is not quite as good as its predecessor, but all fairly good. At least the first 4, I think, are fairly good. And so there you have it. Boston's second album, Don't Look Back. Well worth an investment of a few bucks to get it, and well worth your time to listen to it. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Look Back at a Classic Rock Album, and we will be back next week, and I'll get to choose yet another one. I chose 2 for this week, and this is the one I decided to play. I will probably use the other one next week. So I hope to see you then. Take care.